Okay. Wait lang. Okay, we're live. Hello. I don't think anyone's here,
Hello.
Fairly. Welcome to what's this? September 22nd? Is this
Yes,
September
September
22nd?
22nd. Yes.
Yes, okay. No, I'm not good with dates. September 22nd edition of AEW Dynamite. Not just any Dynamite. This was Dynamite Grand Slam in Arthur Ashe Stadium. And we were expecting pay-per-view levels of matches and quality show overall, and we got that. And of course, we have to start where it all began, and we didn't even expect this to happen. Kenny Omega versus Brian Danielson.
Oh my god! Oh my
Oh my
god!
god, they actually gave it for free. I feel like I took money from Tony Khan's wallet. I feel bad.
Like, the thing is, like,
I feel
well,
like I owe him money.
for one thing, it's like we weren't expecting this to happen, and then we also weren't expecting this to open the show. I was like out, like I woke up early, and then I was
Yeah,
watching like the intro and the build up, and I was like just getting my breakfast and stuff like that. And then they mentioned that in our main event, like Ruby Soho will be challenging Britt Baker for the women's world title. I was like, great. Wait, isn't there another match that you haven't mentioned? That one's up next. Oh my god! What? I had to run
I,
back like with my
like
coffee.
I was I wasn't listening to like the announcements because like I had family around during the time I was watching, and then I just look at the screen. It says up next, Omega versus Danielson. I'm like, wait, what?
What? What?
Are you sure? Okay, so like, after we got over the shock of like having this match actually be for free, the match itself was beautiful. Like I wasn't able to like make the news video that I was planning to make for this show, but I think I mentioned there that this was everything we expected out of these two when we
Yeah,
found out that they were gonna have a match. Like, like there were strikes, there were throws, there
there
were
were holds,
submissions, like
like
everything was there.
all the spots, all
Yeah,
the spots.
it was so beautiful.
Like, how is this
I'm
for
pretty sure if
free?
I wasn't like around my family, I would be crying.
Yeah.
It's like
How is
okay,
this
like
free?
specific stuff we liked about the match. I think you mentioned earlier the V trigger from outside where Kenny
Yeah,
Omega flipped into the ring.
yeah, the longest V trigger of all time. It was like he was auditioning for the long jump, and like someone has to tell him the Olympics are over, but he like jumped. I swear he jumped like 59,000 feet and land and basically like he didn't kick Danielson. He landed on Danielson's head.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
and he, that the momentum took him into the ring. And Danielson died. Like it was a near
and,
countdown. He was dead.
the commentary team also like played that out. Like he didn't do a V trigger flat footed. Like he jumped from somewhere midway through the ramp, and then he basically went up and down towards Danielson.
Yeah, he landed on him. And
Yeah,
that was after the Snapdragon on the entrance ramp. Like, what? You can't kill him. He has neck. Like, have you forgotten Brian Danielson has neck? Like,
but but that's actually like one of the better parts about this match. Like one thing I appreciated is they didn't really target Brian's neck. They
yeah,
targeted his back, which makes sense, but they
they,
didn't go after his neck.
yeah, they did mention like with the Snapdragon from the top rope, and they didn't complete the full Snapdragon. Like Omega basically threw Danielson. Danielson like fell away in like a backflip motion. So it was pretty safe,
Yeah,
and it could still be sold as more or less a Snapdragon. Like
yeah. It
a
still
bit less
looked
than
like it
more.
hurt.
Yeah,
It still
like
looked
you're
like it
flying
hurt, but
across
I
the
know
ring.
it
Of course it
wouldn't.
hurt.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but it also doesn't look like something that would paralyze Brian for life.
yeah. He just landed really hard on his stomach, and that hurts, but it's not deadly, but it still
Yeah,
hurts.
yeah.
Another thing that like I told you
Like,
this while
another
the match
thing
was
that I
going on.
really liked,
Yeah,
I
go
know,
on.
sorry.
And my I think this is the delay. Pero
Uh
sige,
huh.
you go on.
No, no, no. It's fine. I'll go after.
Yeah. One thing that
Ah,
like I told you this while
okay.
we
So
were watching.
no, I was just gonna mention like you.
Okay.
Oh no, I think we're having delays.
Okay, you can go first, like,
No,
and so
sige.
that
You
we.
go first. I'll go after.
Okay. So
Okay, me
I
first.
yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So no, I was just it's just gonna be a short mention of like it wasn't even a spot, and you already talked about it earlier. Like when Omega German suplex, I think it was German suplex, Brian on the ramp, and since it's made out of glass, you could see like Brian
Yeah.
slide down after.
he,
And
he was
it
just
wasn't even
sliding down
technically,
neck and
yeah,
shoulders,
technically it wasn't
being.
selling. Technically it wasn't selling. It was just gravity pulling him down, but it still looked
Yeah,
great.
I think it was a snapdragon. Like that's why I was telling like they were going after his neck because I'm pretty sure it was actually a snapdragon. And like on that hard surface, like it's not, oh, it's like apron,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hardest part of the ring. No, it's actually a snapdragon onto plexiglass on top of LED on top of scaffolding. That will break you. Right? Oh my god. Yeah.
What else can we like say about this match? Like I don't think I was prepared to talk about this match. Like I watched it and I felt
No.
it
Yeah,
inside,
yeah, yeah.
but
Like,
I wasn't like ready.
it's
I
just
wasn't ready to like
vibes.
come here and like talk
Yeah.
about what I like. Yeah, like this is one of those matches where you just have to tell people watch it for yourself, and then
Yes.
you'll understand how actually great it.
Yeah.
Because like we can talk about it for an entire hour, and I don't think we'd get across like how great it actually
Yeah, we
was.
could narrate the whole match and like and we still wouldn't get
Yeah,
across how great it actually was. I think ano, well, syempre, of course for us as like long time though on and off wrestling fans, we know about the reputation of these two. Like we know why this is a dream match because these guys have been all over the world. They've been together at some points. They've been like in different promotions, and they're basically like they're both within the top five on the planet. Like for like more or less, they're both within the top five on the planet. So we know that. But even if you don't know that, it's just such a great showcase of this is what pro wrestling can be. Like I'm pretty sure that we all we have already accepted at this point that none of this is actual fighting, but this is still dangerous, and at the same time this is still beautiful performance. And and once you've accepted that, which it doesn't take a while to it doesn't take too long to accept it anyway, you can just appreciate how amazing these two people are at looking like they are hurting each other, but how well and synchronized in such a synchronized fashion they can do it. I also told you this while I was watching, like in the middle of the match, the way that it was paced, it was actually paced really really slowly. They burned it real slow because like they knew they would have like 30 minutes, and couldn't help but notice they were doing a New Japan match, but they didn't have a New Japan
yeah,
crowd
yeah,
because they weren't expecting like New Japan crowds are like
yeah.
they're usually silent to start with, then they give polite applause for like after bits of chain wrestling. But then these people were hot the whole time, and it contributed so much, and it was amazing, and it was great. God, Tony, Tony Khan, I will send you a
Yeah.
few
And
$100.
this like I think like the best way to describe this, like if there was any fair way to describe this match, this is like the perfect match to show people who don't watch professional wrestling. Like
Yes.
there's not a lot of story behind it where you need to explain every single detail. It's just two people fighting because they want to know who's better. At the same time,
Yeah.
it's not it's not like that violent type of match which could turn people off. like I know like some people aren't really into like the hardcore weapon based
Yeah,
fighting. So like
CCW type.
this
Yeah,
is that. And at the same time it's yeah, and overall it's just a beautiful, beautiful match. And I think aside from us like being happy about it, I'm pretty sure like Brian Danielson is also happy about it.
yeah,
This is what he was looking for. This is why he left WWE despite liking people in WWE.
yeah.
He
He was
wanted to
never going to get
experience like
this kind of
real
push.
hard stiff wrestling.
Yeah.
And like by 6 minutes in, he was yeah, by 6 minutes in, I think he got chopped harder than he's ever been chopped in WWE. Like
Oh
his
yeah,
chest
yeah.
was red.
Like they kept drawing attention to it on commentary. Like
And that was like only
his
1/5
chest
of
is
the way through the match.
just this glowing red, man. Like these knife edge chops, and then he got hit back. And another like there's just so much things to talk about. What I didn't
Yeah.
appreciate was that like I know from like reading like articles like earlier on when I was like 13, 14 about this Brian Danielson guy. I knew that one of his things was to keep telling the referee that he had until 5 to break up certain like illegal holds. But I didn't notice until tonight that he never actually did it in WWE. I don't think he was allowed to, or like because it would like recall too much of his like too much of who he was outside of WWE. So when he finally did it, like
Ah,
he was doing this
yeah.
illegal hold, and then like they counted the four, and then he just told the referee 5, and then everyone like, yeah, and that's when I knew this is the
No,
perfect crowd for this match.
he 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 did that once in WWE against CM Punk. I
Okay,
forgot what
okay,
pay-per-view, but he did that once.
yeah. So you know who you can do it
Yeah.
against.
So
That's the
anyway,
only
like
person you can do it against.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, if like in case you guys didn't read the results down by the ticker, this ended in a 30-minute time limit draw. And this wasn't like the type of time limit draw where everyone's just dead in the ring and they can't move. They were
Yeah,
still very much fighting after
yeah.
the bell rung.
These people they did not hear the bell. I don't think they heard the
Yeah,
bell. They
yeah,
were in a sequence of exchanging punches and kicks, and then the bell rung, and they did not flinch. They just kept
yeah.
going. It was
And
like
then
they were just like
Brian,
and then Brian locked in the bell lock, and then
yeah, he
people
got a
had to run
visual tap.
interfere. Yeah, he got a
Yeah,
visual tap. People saw it, and um, only I'm pretty sure that only when the elite and then later Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Christian, only when they came in did these people realize, oh, it's been 30 minutes.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
They weren't really paying attention to the ref or like the time.
they
Poor
were
Justin Roberts
just
like just
wrestling.
yelling.
They
Yes.
were just wrestling.
So so
Yes.
after that we have thankfully they didn't put a match after that because like boy that would have been hard. They have a CM
Yeah.
Punk promo.
Yeah, and CM Punk said it himself.
And
Thank goodness I'm not wrestling tonight because who's gonna
yeah,
follow that? Yeah.
because honestly, if I was in that position and they told me like, okay, you have the next match after Omega versus Danielson, I just quit. I'd leave. I can't follow
No,
that.
no, I know that like I call myself the best in the world and I'm pretty damn good, but like no, right?
No.
No crowd has the energy to follow that, even if it's the hottest
Yeah.
crowd like AEW, who were apparently hot for 4 hours, but
Yeah,
no,
according to
like they
Twitter.
needed this promo.
So yeah, thankfully they gave us this promo as a break. CM Punk, of course, with that great line of pro wrestling finally returning to New York.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
S- j- And SmackDown
Got
was
you.
just as a reminder. SmackDown was in New York 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the spiritual home, and then for the longest time, it wasn't actually professional wrestling. Like, oof, simply oof.
And, and like, this was a very like standard CM Punk promo. He was playing up to the crowd, like
Yeah,
he basically kept saying that he loved the experience of coming out to his music, to the cheers and
yeah.
everything. Yeah, it was in conclusion, like it was just basically a, what do you call this? It was a
A
hype
U people.
promo basically for
Yeah,
his.
for his match
Yeah,
on
it was.
Rampage.
I told you this. Like I think I told you this while we were watching. He was cutting a "You People" promo as a babyface,
Yeah,
which is weird.
the thing is, like
But
with Punk, like you expect him to be a heel after everything that's happened, and I think that it might be a bit more compelling if he like he addresses this himself. It might be a bit more compelling if he's actually like angry and furious and doesn't feel like he owes anyone anything. But you know what?
yeah,
Like he's been away for like
I
seven
don't.
years. I'm just happy to see him happy. You know, he's having
Yeah, he
fun
like
with his
he's
wrestling.
genuinely happy.
Yes, and this is
Like,
great. Like
I
I miss
can
this guy.
I
Yeah.
can't e- I can't even like if I was a writer or like part of the creative team, I don't think I would have it in me to tell him, okay, do this storyline as a heel. Cause no, like he's just so happy.
I mean, he'd be over anyway,
Yeah, yeah,
but like
pero it wouldn't
you
be
can't make him do that.
genuous.
Yeah, you can't
It
make him
wouldn't
do
be
that.
genuine. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, great CM Punk promo for what it was. It was very short.
can't
Called
wait
out
for the
Powerhouse
match.
Hubs. Yeah, I think this is gonna be great. According to Twitter, there weren't any spoilers except for his gear. Apparently, he's wearing trunks again.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
he's back to
okay,
trunks. Yeah.
okay. I didn't like he cut a promo about the match. It's like, oh, this Thursday, and then you don't realize that oh, it's being taped on the same night, so he's going to come out
Yeah.
like, later. It must have been an amazing experience. Like just a random aside before we move on to MJF. Like
Yeah.
I follow tennis myself, and like I know I like a random thought that I had was like what would this pay per view look like from the camera angle of the U.S. Open? Like just these tiny people like fighting in the middle of a ring that's like barely wider than the net. So, or like if the U.S. Open was shot from this angle, I don't know. Like, just it's so weird to see like my personal worlds colliding. But like, you know, tennis stadium next they're going to do a tennis match in Madison Square Garden, so it's all gonna be great. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now next up, MJF versus Brian Pillman.
Oh yeah,
This was this was an I think this was the shortest match. I'm not sure. I don't know. Wait, no.
yeah,
Some things.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello? Kami, ay, Nash, waiter na may ginagawa kasi kuya.
Okay. Sorry about that. Had to answer the door. Anyway, where were we?
Yeah.
MJF
It
versus
was
Brian Pillman. This
yeah. It was the
was
second
this the
shortest match.
shortest match?
I had time to check the ticker. Like the tag team
Oh
match
no
is
no,
actually a bit shorter.
this wasn't the shortest match.
The shorter
But
by 6 seconds. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And this was like out of all of the matches, this was like the weakest match. Not to say it was bad, but yeah, it wasn't
Mm.
really as big as everything. But they did their best. Brian Pillman Jr. was great,
Yeah.
like especially for being someone who isn't really established yet.
Mm.
And like
And the thing is,
MJF is always
MJF
good.
MJF has his heat back, and that's all I ever wanted. He has his heat back after like taking the L to Jericho, even though he never really lost his heat because he kept claiming that he actually beat Jericho. So yeah, like definitely he'll be fine, and he showed us today that he was fine. The Wardlow turn doesn't look like it's happening yet. Wardlow crushed some local guy on the episode of Dark before this, so we thought maybe it's gonna come, but like Wardlow helped him out, so we're gonna have to wait a bit of a while longer. But yeah, for now, I'm happy to see this version of MJF, even though he might piss. He doesn't make me angry. Actually, I'm just like Oh my god,
No,
how
yeah,
can this
no.
person say this kind of thing? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he makes me feel. Because, like, to be
Yeah.
fair, he hasn't come to our hometown and, like, he hasn't called us mean names yet.
I feel like we would just
But, like,
cheer if he did.
no, no, no. I feel like out of principle, we would boo him.
Oh, okay, okay. We're supposed to boo MJF, yes. But we can also
Yeah.
recognize that
Like,
he's just really good at what he does.
we like him enough to know that we're not supposed to cheer him.
Yeah. Another thing that
Yeah.
I only noticed this like today because like this is my first like full MJF match that I watched. His armbar is called the salt of the earth.
Yeah.
What? Like that's amazing. That's so pompous. And it's so fitting. I didn't know that's what it was called. But like, armbars just feel like a heel finisher. They just I mean I associate it with Alberto Del
Yeah, yeah.
Rio back in
Like,
WWE.
submissions in
Um
general.
yeah, submissions in general, like
Yeah.
Britt Baker has one as well. Yeah.
I think, like, submissions in general are good, like, heel finisher. But, like, arm
Mhm.
bars are up there as heel finishers.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we had Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes. I I was I like the match. It could have been better.
Yeah.
Uh, I was scared for, like, a while that Cody was
For a
gonna
squash.
win.
Yeah.
No,
For
no,
a
no, not the
win.
squash. I was scared because, like, rematch Cody Rhodes, I think, is undefeated up until now.
Yeah, like he
Like,
was
Cody,
he wasn't beaten up to this point. And honestly, I genuinely forgot how good Cody Rhodes could be. Like I knew intuitively that this guy is really great. He just didn't get a chance to show it where he used to be. But like seeing the crossroads in full again after so long, I just get reminded that this guy is super ultra duper talented. And it was just great to see him wrestle like again properly. And the thing is with this match, I
well,
do feel
this
like
is
it's about yeah, go on, sorry.
no. I forgot. This was your first Cody match, right?
This is my first
Like, the
AEW Cody match.
full. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Carry on. Like, you were. I think I cut you
Now
off in the
I
middle of
was just
something.
gonna say I was just gonna say that like I don't think I think they cut this match short because it's not about Malachi. Malachi is gonna be fine. He's run through the whole family. He's killed everyone, but not really because Dustin picked up a win against QT Marshall on Dark, so he's fine. But Malachi is gonna move on to something else, and I think Cody, like I think you mentioned this as well, like when you're watching it. I feel like Cody's gonna break, and
Yeah, yeah.
he's gonna turn heel soon
I,
because like in this match he shoved
I,
Arn Anderson, he shoved the referee,
he shoved
which
the
caused him
ref.
to lose. Yeah, and and we didn't get to see how it turned out in the end because they cut to commercial afterwards. But I feel like he might have something to say on Dynamite very soon.
Like, I think, yeah, that makes sense because, like, the entire time, like, not just this match, but, like, the entire feud when Malachi Black was going through everyone, of friends and family of Cody Rhodes. Like, the point wasn't just to beat him because, like, he already won.
Yeah,
The point was, like, to break him.
yeah,
Yeah,
to
because,
break
like,
him
he
and
already
break
got a
everyone he
pin.
loved.
Like, technically speaking, in terms of wins and losses, yeah, in terms of wins and losses, if Cody won here, it wouldn't technically matter. But, like, the point wasn't the win or the loss. So, like, the roll up distraction pin, by Black to Cody is fine. It
Yeah,
was a bit
it's
weird,
not
like, it
about
came
that.
out of
Yeah,
nowhere, not really in a good way, but at the same time, yeah, it wasn't about that. Like, it was about it, like, aside from, like, Cody shoving Arn Anderson in the ref, like, if you notice throughout the match, like, he'd stop where usually the babyface would look to the crowd for cheers. He
yeah.
was hearing the boos of everyone in the crowd. Like,
Oh
he
yeah,
looked
there was that one
disturbed. Like,
spot
why
where
is
there was that
everyone
one
booing
spot
me?
where that was that one spot where like Cody was like going to dive to Malachi on the outside, and Malachi answered
Yeah, yeah,
back
yeah.
with a knee strike in midair. It didn't quite come off, like it glanced off his arm or something, but he still sold it well. But right before that, he was just staring at the crowd like, I'm in red and blue. This is face gear. Why are you booing me? I don't understand." So yeah, you can sense that there's changes coming. Changes are coming very soon.
Yeah, some something big is gonna happen to Cody Rhodes as a character, and we're very excited to see that happen.
Yeah, I need to see more Cody.
And
I need to see more Cody.
yeah, like honestly, like people have been complaining before that we had too much Cody Rhodes on the show, but that was because he was babyface. So I think like people are gonna start. They're gonna start like turning around on him since he's a heel, and now people are gonna probably start watching for him, which
Yeah,
is gonna be
like
nice.
he's gonna start getting cheered again. And
I mean,
I
hopefully
think,
not.
and then he'll be like, and then he'll look out at the crowd again for the same
Like,
reason. I'm getting the wrong
what do you
reaction, but in
want?
reverse. Like,
What do
what?
you want?
Do you want me to resign?
Okay. So like, after that, during the commercial break, like we had the one promo that wasn't in ring. It was Sammy Guevara versus Miro, being officially announced for next week
This
for
looks
the
like it's gonna
TNT
be great.
title.
Looks like it's
Yeah,
gonna be
I
great.
I don't know if like they're gonna change the titles now. But to be fair, like the TNT title has changed hands on Dynamite. It's not an unprecedented thing to do,
Yeah.
so they could. Like out of everyone who's challenged for it so far, like Sammy Guevara feels like the guy to take it. Because like
Yeah.
honestly, I don't know who next would take it
Mhm.
after him.
Yeah, and
So
the
yeah,
thing is, like, I haven't seen any Sammy Guevara. I can tell intuitively
yeah,
that he's good. Like, he is pretty big, but he still looks like the kind of guy that, like, he can do some pretty athletic things. So it's going. I
like,
hope this is the main event, and if it is the main event, they're going to. I'm pretty sure they have enough tools to tear the house down. So it's
yeah.
gonna be fun. Yeah.
I think I'd compare Sammy Guevara to like Will Ospreay before he went heavyweight. Like when I don't know if you saw that particular era of Will Ospreay when he was like starting to get bigger. Yeah, that's like I feel like that's more
Ah.
of like how Sammy Guevara is.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
it's like
I can sort of
it's like
imagine it. Yeah.
an in between of like a heavyweight style wrestler and a high flyer.
That and of course Miro is a tank. So
Yep, Miro is
it's gonna
going to be a beast. So
yes.
like thankfully I hope this isn't gonna be a murder match, so it's gonna be a
Yeah.
different kind of great.
The promo was so good because Miro said Miro that's my favorite line from the whole year. Miro just said like my God demands pain and my wife demands pleasure. Sometimes pain too. Yeah.
Like it's just
Yeah.
Miro. I love how it's just his gimmick that he has an angry god and a hot wife.
Yeah, and he bangs his hot wife all the
Like,
time, and he
like,
loves it. Like
that,
you
like
go, Miro,
te-
you go.
techni- technically, if you boil his character down, that's his only gimmick. But he plays it up so great.
Yeah, he calls
Like,
himself the Redeemer. Like it helps
yeah,
that he's great in the ring. It helps that he kills people every week.
like,
He made Fuego del Sol eat his own car key. So
yeah,
yeah, he's pretty great even with just that.
yeah. Like he can make this character work with like the most basic characteristics ever. But
I
anyway,
just
like moving
wish
on.
Yeah, one last thing before
I
I
don't
move
know.
on. I hope that they
Okay,
find
okay.
an excuse to put him back in the tank. Please,
I,
somehow, some way, put
I,
him back
and
in the tank.
yeah, I
That's
would
it.
love to see him again come out in a tag.
Yeah, that would be so much fun. Yeah.
Anyway, next match we had Sting and Darby Allin versus FTR and Tully Blanchard.
Oh my
No,
God.
FTR with Tully Blanchard
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in the match,
Oh
technically.
my Sting,
The-
Sting. That's it. That's my summary.
Six,
Sting.
62 years old.
How is he
He's
doing this? You're not
62.
meant to be able to do this. You are not meant to be able to
Like,
do this. But man was
okay,
running.
like,
He was flying around. He finished off the top rope.
he was
Like, yeah,
he was
yeah, it was
lifting
great.
people.
He was lifting people. He
Like,
was doing splashes in the corner. He did the flying top. He did the flying crossbody off the top rope. This guy can go. Oh my god, this guy can go.
this man, this man is a senior citizen, and he's still in the
Yeah,
ring doing matches.
he
Like
qualifies for benefits. Like,
how are his bones not dust yet after that match?
yeah,
Like
and
this
like
man is a treasure.
yeah, I I I was like still casually like watching when like Sting finally made the move to like his long awaited move to World Wrestling Entertainment. And they like this match showed me that they held him back. Like, okay, you're like it would have been reasonable. Like would have thought that like, okay, like you're how long ago? You're 55. Okay, we won't let you go too much.
Yeah,
We won't make you go too much. Like
yeah.
it's okay, it's okay. But now he's 62 and he's cross bodying people halfway across the ring. Like,
Like,
oh my god.
like if you were going to restrict anyone's work rate, it would understandably be the senior citizens' work rate.
Yeah.
But
Like
but now that but now that we've seen this match, I think it would be unfair to like restrict him
he can
like no. I think he should still be restricted for his own
yeah,
good.
he can take on Danielson.
Yeah, I honestly believe that they would have a great match.
They would still have a great match and Sting would not be carried. That
Yeah,
probably shouldn't happen. Like
like
that makes
I
no
think
story sense. But
like
it could
one thing you
happen and it would be
men-
nice.
one thing you mentioned like earlier, like Sting wasn't carried by FTR and Darby Allin throughout this match. Like Darby
Yeah.
Allin was beat on for majority of the middle of the match.
Yeah. He was out of the match for a long
Yeah,
time. For a long,
yeah,
long time. It wasn't even structured like okay, so Sting and Darby Allin like team up together. It was basically Darby Allin clears out interference while Sting shows people how it's done. Like that
yeah.
was the structure of the match.
And
Like
like
they let Sting take it, and of course, like we have to acknowledge FTR are God's gift to Earth.
FTR
They're so great. They
always
fake
great.
they fake a tag. Harwood
Yeah,
clapped his
like
hands
he
and
just
then
went like
just switched
this.
out. Yeah, and then he just left, and then and the thing about FTR is that like like they have a million different ways to like um change the dynamic of a match by like being a tag team when there's two of them. Now that there's three of them, like there's so much more
Yeah,
possibilities because that thing that they faked the tag and then the ref was like, hey, you aren't legal. But then Tully Blanchard was there saying that actually yes, they are legal. Did you hear the tag? It's like, oh okay, go on then. Like, bro, three of
yeah.
them is incredible. Yeah.
Like the Tully Blanchard edition, like I've never really fully appreciated it until this match. Because like,
Yeah.
back then, like of course you'd expect managers to like cheat for their clients, but like those little things of like telling the ref, no, the tag was legal, you're wrong.
Yeah,
Like
it's not he
that
wasn't
really
like
adds.
basic he wasn't basically running interference. He
Yeah,
wasn't
and
like distract the ref, distract the ref.
yeah,
He was playing along like but you could tell that FTR were in the driver's seat the whole time.
yeah. But again, like of course, in the end, managers do what managers do. He held up
Get away
the
late.
steel chair. He held up
Yeah.
the steel chair in the corner, and like Sting just like stopped and like looked at it like, was I
What?
supposed to hit that?
And it's like, oh, and then he sees Harwood coming at him. It's like, oh,
And just
you
like
were
tosses
supposed to
him
hit
in.
this, and then he just steps
Like,
to the side.
to be fair, he was thrown into the ropes, but like Harwood didn't really follow through. He didn't really like hold on to him. So of course he just stopped. Why would he
Yeah,
continue running?
I guess he was counting on like old man eyes don't see chair until it's too late. I don't know.
like, like Sting was like so disappointed. Like you could have thought this through better, and then
Yeah,
he
and now
just
you're
picked
running
up.
at me. You're giving me an easy reversal here.
Yeah, he just like threw him into the chair. It's like
But
w- one thing I really wanted to talk about if I was gonna make the news video, which sadly I couldn't make because like I didn't have time. FDR, like back when they were still the revival, found their signature spot of like holding each other's hand to prevent the tap out.
yeah,
Like,
and oh my god, yeah, oh my god. Okay, so
like,
obviously the mind goes back to 2 out of 3 falls. Of course, it goes
yeah,
there.
of course.
And like I saw like, oh my god, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be the finish. And then there's this flying 170-pound child
Yeah,
that like
he just
lands
like
on their
drops
arm.
on it.
Yeah,
Like,
and lands on the apron, which, as we know, is the hardest part of the ring. We have to say that, otherwise we get a lawsuit. But like, he just coffin drops his finisher. He uses his finisher on someone's arm to break interference, and that's like the
yeah,
encapsulation of what we mentioned earlier. This wasn't a tag team match. This was Darby Allin clearing a path for Sting, and it was
yeah.
beautiful. What a match! I love this so much. It was so great.
Like, I don't think like this isn't meant to be insulting, but I don't think FTR is getting better. They're just constantly being great.
Yeah, like,
Like,
can they get better? Can they?
yeah. Like
I mean,
I was
30
thinking
minute
about
tag
it.
matches, I guess, with the Young Bucks. I guess they can do
Yeah,
that again, but honestly, just more of this forever and I'll
yeah.
be happy.
Like I was thinking about it, like how do I complement the growth of FTR, and then like I just came to it like no, they haven't been growing. They just know how to really use
Yeah,
their style against everyone else.
they have simply always been good.
Yeah,
That's just it.
yeah. And they're like good at like adapting their style with like who they're fighting.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Like it
My
doesn't look
God,
like it's conflicting at all. Like not in a bad way.
yeah. Like, oh my God, they're just.
This wasn't free. This was free. This was on free TV.
This was so much. This was. It really brought my mind back to like, the early days of like when NXT was like the hottest property on the planet, and
Yeah,
these
yeah.
guys were. It was still them. It's still them carrying the whole thing, like with their psychology and their classic tag team
Yeah.
work. They're just too good at this. Like, of course, in the end, the legend won the day. But like,
Yeah, I
that
mean, yeah.
pound for pound,
It,
this is I'm gonna claim it here. Like these guys. Oh, I don't know actually because the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros are pretty good. But
I
I'm
mean,
gonna say
at,
on recent evidence, these are the best tag team in the world.
at the very least, top three.
Yeah, like top three. Only
Like,
those two you can make an
uh,
argument that they're better.
top three is basically a toss up at this point as to like who's one, two, and three.
Yeah, and they're all in the same promotion. Oh my god, what a
Yeah.
time to be alive! Oh my
My
god.
God. Next. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh, again, just like the show, I can't believe we're almost done. It's the main event. Wait, I can't click. Eh, There we go. Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker,
DMD.
DMD versus Ruby Soho. This match was it wasn't the best again of the show, but like it was
Yeah.
great for what it was. It started slow for like what I was used to and like for what we watched so far. It started slow
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and not a knock on the wrestlers in the ring. The crowd were tired.
Yeah, you could
This
tell that
was
like
yeah
they've been
they were
watching
gonna have a hard time.
a long night. They were always gonna have a hard time.
Yeah, but credit to Britt Baker and Ruby Soho. They got them into this match.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
by the tail end, this was just a wild match all around. Like moves from the top rope. There was an air raid crash.
There was
I've
an air
never
raid
seen.
crash from the top rope. There was a
I've
stair
never.
spot.
Britt Baker's never done the air raid crash, let alone from the top rope. Like, how? Where did you find this?
I guess like they just ended up in that position, and then Britt Baker just realized, oh, okay,
Because yeah,
oh.
and you mentioned that stair spot. I think I messaged you like I've never seen that spot. It looks pretty cool. It's
Yeah,
like a
like
stomp. Like she just puts Ruby's head between her feet and just like jumps on it. Like
oh my god, like
there was a curb stomp.
the thing
Like
is, they said like 60-minute time limit, and I was pretty confident that they were going to overrun it by like 10 or 20 minutes because these guys were going wild towards the finish. Of course, like
Yeah,
Hater and Rebel were running interference, but like Ruby dealt with them pretty well. Ultimately, they were
yeah,
the difference. Ultimately, they were the difference, but like you thought it was going to be like the type of victory that that like Ruby's fighting from underneath to take the title. Ultimately, it didn't happen, but it's still a great credit to everyone who participated in this match. That it
Yeah,
started off slowly and they got everyone into it, and it became as
like,
wild as anything on the card.
like another thing like again like that was going against this match, like I think a good portion of us knew that Britt Baker wasn't gonna lose here,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
like halfway through the match I wasn't really thinking about like how obvious this result was gonna be. I was like, what other
Because the
spots
result
can you
was
put?
no, yeah, because the
Yeah,
result was
like
no longer obvious.
what other crazy things can you pull out? Because
Like, oh my god.
Britt Baker didn't even do a Panama Sunrise in this match, and it was still wild.
Like the one thing that I will say is that I'm still not convinced about I'm still not convinced about Ruby Soho's finisher as a finisher. Like
Oh,
it
that's fair.
still doesn't look like it still doesn't look
No,
like it hurts. But like I think it's gonna take a while to get sold. But like it didn't end the match.
speaking of
She hit one, and she hit.
yeah,
I think she hit Jamie Hater with one as well.
no, she hit Rebel,
She
and
hit
then
Rebel.
Jamie
She hit
Hayter
Rebel.
was the one who pulled her in the ropes. Speaking of finishers that
Yeah.
look like they hurt, the lockjaw,
Oh, oh my god.
beautiful.
See, the thing about the lockjaw is that the jaw part isn't even the main thing about it.
Yeah, it's just an aesthetic part. Like
Yeah,
technically, it's like a Rings of Saturn.
it's a Rings of Saturn and the Mandible Claw.
Yeah, it's a two in one,
Oh
and
my
it's
god.
just
And
so brutal.
like Ruby tap within 5 seconds, and like, I believe you. That looks like it hurts.
Yeah, this like I think this is something that people need to get used to. Tapping out isn't technically quitting. Like again, like as a fan of mixed martial arts, I don't look at people who tapped out and say, "Oh, they're weak." No, I look at them like, "Oh no, there's no way for them to get out. They need to tap, or else they'll get injured or die."
Yeah, you don't look at the wrestler who tap out. You look at the move that made them do it. Then you realize,
Yeah,
oh my god.
yeah,
Yeah.
no. Like if I was in there, I would probably have tapped out before the move was even completed.
It's like the movie isn't even held. Like you see the glove coming towards your mouth. And like, yep,
Nope,
I'm not
no.
trying this. I'm already in the painful enough Rings of Saturn as it is.
Like, I think it's also great. No, like as far as I've noticed, they've been protecting Britt Baker's finisher. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw
every
that.
time
I'm pretty
when
sure
she
it
locks it
ended the match
on.
with Statlander, right? It ended the match with Statlander at All Out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think there's been like too many recorded like reversals or like rope breaks. It's like
Yeah,
when it's in, and you're
yeah.
just
Like
done for the night.
this one didn't even look like it was middle of the ring too much. It was
Yeah,
like
no, she was close to the ropes.
yeah, she was close
Yeah,
to the ropes, but because of the way that the move is set up, her arms are basically pointing away from the ropes anyway. So your only hope
yeah.
of a rope break is if you bite the rope. But
Or
like
if
you're
you like
not getting
move,
there.
like from an outsider's perspective, like you can make arguments of like, oh, she could have moved her feet, blah 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 blah. But like in the
Let
moment,
Yeah,
it's
let's see you
believable
try to
enough.
move your feet. Let's see
Like
you try to move your feet when you're in
it was
there.
believable enough to like say that in the moment it was so painful that you couldn't really think of anything else but getting
Make
out
it
of there
stop. Yeah,
quickly.
make it stop.
Yeah.
Make it stop. And she
Oh,
did make
like
it stop.
something else like I forgot to mention. Like during that slow start, they did make up for it with like good. It was good character work. It was like heel Britt Baker just like being cocky and stuff, and like they really imposed the size difference between the two because like
Yeah, yeah,
Britt
yeah, yeah.
Baker's pretty much very much like taller and like has longer reach than Ruby Soho. So like they played that up. Like she did kicks, thrust kicks to like keep her away. And like Ruby Soho was like selling for a majority of like the start and the middle of the match.
Yeah.
So like people were really getting into it.
My
So
God.
yeah. They
So
they, they found a way to like get this crowd back after like almost 2 hours of solid wrestling. I'm pretty sure the crowd was tired and I'm not blaming them.
yeah, and
But
like as
but
we
like
mentioned earlier, like after this, I'm pretty sure like the Rampage was filmed right after that,
yeah.
and and so they sat through that too. And if we're to believe the reports, they were still hot by the end of Rampage. Like we don't know what the main event was. Like we don't know what it was, but it kept them all throughout, then either like of course the combination that this crowd is amazingly hot and the wrestling that people are putting on is amazing. So credit to everyone. Like yeah.
My only like question for this match, like not really the match, but like for the women's championship, is like I don't know where it's going. I don't.
Yeah. Who's
No, no,
gonna
no,
get a shot?
not in a bad way. Like genuinely wondering who's going to be like the next woman up to like take the number one contendership.
I mean,
Because
they might decide it on Dynamite. Like from what I've seen recently, well, Big Swole was on Dark, so maybe not. But
yeah,
I would like I mentioned like I like muscles like on people, but like I feel like Baker v Cargill would be pretty interesting because
but
Cargill has been booked as an unstoppable monster. But
I don't
I
think
don't know how that
no
would
no.
turn out.
I don't think they're gonna feed Cargill for Baker. Plus,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think they can pull off like the heel versus heel dynamic.
Mm. And like it doesn't
Maybe
feel
they
like it's
can.
time. I don't feel they don't. I
Yeah,
don't feel like
yeah,
it's time for them for Britt Baker's reign to end yet. She
yeah.
has a long way to go.
But to be fair, like we have until November for the next pay per view, so they have a
Yeah,
lot of time to like build it up. I have confidence in AEW that they'll find, or if they can't
they'll do
find
the right
anyone,
thing.
like if they can't find anyone, they'll make someone be believably the first
Yeah,
number one
they'll
contender.
break up the stable. They'll make Jamie Hayter the next challenger, and they'll make it believable
Maybe
because like they can do anything.
like
They can basically do anything and make it work.
they're good at like building challengers up. So like
Yeah,
I'm currently like unsure of where this is going, but I'm not too scared of like
yeah.
them
Unsure
messing this
but
up.
not worried. Unsure but not
Yeah,
worried.
I think that's the proper term. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, like overall thoughts on the show.
What a time to be a wrestling fan. Like that's really all I have to say. Like
Like, yeah,
I that's what I say after every that's what I say after every single one of these at this point because they just keep topping themselves. Like obviously next week is probably going to be a come down, and that come
yeah,
down is still going to have Miro versus Sammy Guevara. And like we're not covering it on this show, but there's still 2 more hours of this damn thing, which features the super click. We're getting an 8-man tag, a crazy, crazy 8-man tag. We're getting Anna Jay. We're getting what else are we getting? God, I can't even remember. We're getting
Jericho and
Moxley.
Hager.
We're getting Jericho and Hager. We're getting
Suzuki,
Minoru Suzuki in the
Suzuki and
Arthur Ashe
Archer.
Stadium. Nay, help me. Hey,
I,
let me breathe, please. Oh my God.
like, yeah, I don't think I could have said it any better. Like, what a time to be a wrestling fan. Like, I've been watching this on and off for a while now, and I messaged someone, like I messaged a friend after the Daniel Bryan match,
Brian
Bryan
Danielson.
Danielson and Kenny
Yes.
Omega match. I
His
said like,
government name,
man,
Brian Danielson.
I think I just fell in love all over again with
Oh
professional
man.
wrestling.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Because like,
Hell
of
yeah,
course, I
bud.
can point to the first match and say like that's what pulled me in, but like the fact that I was held there throughout the entire show, like I didn't feel compelled to like leave halfway because like I got what I came for.
Yeah.
Like
And
I
then some.
know, yeah, I know Dynamite's not gonna be like this every day, like every week. Like there's going to be some middling shows, probably there's gonna be some bad shows along the road. It's impossible for them to be perfect forever. But like at this moment, I love what I'm seeing, and I'm not regretting like ever deciding to watch it and like doing this whole podcast thing.
Yeah, like basically we're not yet at the point where like we're going to have to do this to like as a career or something. This is just
Yeah,
something that is genuinely enjoyable to do, and a huge part of that is we have something enjoyable to watch like every week, like no exception. It's ultra reliable that
yeah,
there's always something huge to talk about after Dynamite. And
yeah,
if we just had the time, and because like you and I are both in college, we're doing our own stuff,
yeah.
but I'm pretty sure we would be game to do this for every Rampage and even after every Dark. Because
Yeah.
I did watch
Uh,
I started watching Dark yesterday, and even then I'm amazed at like they have these people on their B, C, and D shows. Like
Yeah.
what? What? How is this allowed? And it's not even like they're poaching stars from everywhere, even though they are. These
I
people
mean,
aren't their poached stars. These
they're
are people
going to
that
them.
yeah, they're becoming stars. And like slowly but surely you're going to see some of these guys, they might be headlining Dynamite next year. Like just before, I think on the Dark, like right before this Dynamite, FTR wrestled like this tag team that were really popular in the indies. I think one of them was named Stallion, and another and I cannot remember the name of the other one, but like they let them go, like they let them go real hard for like 9 minutes. It was a really fast paced, really great match, and like you can tell that these guys, like these indie guys, they're not just some local talent to get squashed. They're gonna be here for a while, and that's what's great about this. That's what's great about this. What we're seeing, you can tell that you're going to see them back again, and they're still going to be great. Like yeah, wow,
So yeah,
simply
I
wow.
guess I guess like closing thoughts. I mean, in short, we're very excited to see like where this goes. We were very happy with the
Yeah.
show today. Again, I feel like I robbed Tony Khan. I feel like I took money. I feel like I actively took money out of his pockets.
Yeah, to be fair, like we are still paying for a subscription.
No, but this feels
But
like a pay per view.
yeah, this feels like we
Like
should have
even
paid
if
like
you,
$50.
no, it's 20. It's 20
Oh,
here.
it's 20. Okay. It
I
feels like
feel
a
like we,
$50 show. It feels like a $50
yeah,
show anyway.
we feel like we owe Tony Khan the millionaire money.
Yeah.
It was that good, and
Oh my god.
hopefully, even if it isn't this level of good, I hope we continue to get good shows that we can enjoy, so that this doesn't start to feel like a job that we have to do every day, every week.
Yeah.
Ah, again, what a time to be a wrestling fan.
Become a wrestling fan. Watch these
Yeah,
dynamites. And if you can't, then like, if you don't, even if you don't have the money to spare, Dark and Dark Elevation are free every
yeah,
week on the AEW YouTube channel. Get to know these people. It's not like other B shows where like all of the developmental talent just show up. Sometimes you're going to see CM Punk on there. Sometimes you're going to see Moxley. Last Dark, the main event was Eddie Kingston versus a guy who was a bear. Like these, like if you want to find out who these people are, like
yeah.
some of the talent within the company, you don't even have to pay a single penny. You get two shows for free every week, and it will convince you to probably like set aside some money for a subscription, because this is great, and we hope that you get to see it be great with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it for today. We won't be able to cover Rampage. I don't know if I'll be able to make a news show because my computer is very slow. I will try my best, but no promises. But either way, Rampage is going to be great. We're still going to be watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for today. Thanks everybody for coming along to watch. I'm out. I'm still out of breath. uh,
We
we're
are
just
now
really, really
definitely all
happy.
elite. We are now all elite.
We're really, really happy. Yeah.
Oh
Thank
yes.
you.
Thank
Goodbye.
you very much. Thank you very much.